Hello, everyone. It's Rennie and Curtly here. Oh, there's my
And you just got money.
notification. So we are in the last month of Sugar Leash, and technically we do our check-ins every other week because we feel like you guys are at a point where you should be smooth sailing. And if you're not, please check in with us and reach out. You will get 2 more weeks of emails, about 2 more weeks of emails, and we wanted to talk to you guys. Well, no one's here right now, so we wanted to get feedback on how you're enjoying yourselves, how much you feel like you've learned, what you feel like is sticking, what's not sticking, like what you still need to work on. Do we need to emphasize other things? So if you guys have feedback like that, that would be awesome if you could send us a message. But yeah, today we really want to talk about meditation and releasing emotions, because that's where the root cause of a lot of this stuff is. Most people who take this program aren't the type of people who can just like follow a diet, and they're usually like yo-yo dieters. Does that make sense? Like people who have tried to lose weight and just can't get past the mental and emotional aspect of what it takes to detox from sugar, because it's hard. And for a lot of us, it can be an addiction. But that addiction can be fueled from emotional issues, or just needing to not be distracted and connect with yourself better. So we want to talk a lot more about that. And yeah, Curtly, do you want to start and just, I know that you're super into meditation, and yeah.
Sure. I love your email recently and your post about how you meditate in your closet. Sounds so cool.
That's true.
So you guys, when we say, I don't like using the word meditation because a lot of people shut down with that because it's like weird and foreign and maybe has negative connotation. So whatever you want to call it, basically I'm trying to talk about stillness and being able to focus on one thing at a time and being able to feel grounded. The huge benefits about meditation for me, it's how I get grounded. It's how I feel more joy in my life, and how I can clear resentment and emotions that are not serving me, how I can be more mindful before I put things into my mouth, how I can be more mindful about my reaction, and how I can focus better in life. So it is huge. There are a ton of studies that prove that meditation affects your brain and it changes your brain structure. So it's incredible. If you're wondering about if you should do it, it's like you should have started it last year. High top priority, number one thing you never not do. And that being said, I still am not consistent with it perfectly. It's something I'm trying to do. And so meditation, a place for you to start, if you haven't already started to do it, is just do however amount of you can and wherever you can that will actually get you to start doing it. And so maybe it's just a minute, maybe it's 5 minutes, but it's just sit somewhere comfortable, and you can close your eyes. If closing your eyes makes you dizzy, one of my clients makes her dizzy, so I just say, look at the ground. Just have some quiet. You can do it in your closet like Rennie does. And just close your eyes and then start relaxing. And then start just noticing your breath. And so just focus on, any part of your breath, maybe your rising chest, maybe your stomach, maybe the air coming out of your nose, and just think, how does it feel to breathe? And so you can do that for 5 minutes. And what happens is you are going to get bombarded with the most random thoughts. And you might be shocked about how out of control your mind is, how loud the noise is, or maybe it'll just kind of be normal average for you. So when that thought comes in, you don't judge it. You just realize it's there. You go, I notice a thought is here. And then go back onto where you're noticing the breath. Maybe it's right in your chest. This morning I did it, and I did it on the air coming out of my nose. And then maybe even try counting to 10 breaths and seeing if you can just focus on your breathing the whole time, and kind of work up from there to see how long you can hold that focus. Okay? That's where to start. And I'll just tell you this too. There's a new podcast that is amazing for teaching you how to meditate. It's called Waking Up by Sam Harris. Okay, so the new meditation app, Waking Up by Sam Harris. I was going to show you the app, but
it's a meditation app, not a podcast.
It's an app. Yeah.
Cool.
And so it has 20 lessons. You do it for 20 days. And then he starts out with 5 minutes, and he teaches you each day more techniques to get the most out of meditation. And this guy, he's like gone on month meditation retreat, something crazy like this. Like, he has done meditation his whole life, takes it really seriously, and has had incredible benefits. He's like the most emotionally grounded person I know. You can't heat him up. He's just like calm and stable. It's from meditation. So, and this is huge with grounding yourself with your emotions. A lot of times we go to sugar to make the emotions not hurt so much. So when you stop eating sugar, your emotions are more in your face and it's painful. So it's really important to be able to be there present and be able to deal with those emotions. So, Rennie, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, one of the meditations that I've been really into, I always come back to this, is the saying the word Satanama. It's actually Satnam, but it's a Kundalini meditation. And it means, well, it doesn't really matter what it means, but it means truth is my identity, or I am the truth, or something like that. But something that's really interesting is there's a type of meditation called transcendental meditation where you're giving a mantra, and you're actually supposed to have like a coach give it to you. And you're not supposed to know the meaning of the mantra, so that when you recite the meditation, your mind just goes blank, so that you're not like focused on any type of meaning. And that's what I use the Satnam to be like. And I learned this well, I've learned parts of this from Gabby Bernstein. Curtly and I both really like Gabby Bernstein's work. And so she'll say to do Satanama, and to use your fingers like this over and over and over again, just for as long as, for a minute or 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And it helps, something about those acupressure points help calm your mind. And that meditation just helps you, gives you another thing to focus on, in terms of like, you can focus on your breath. I do that a lot too, focusing on the breath or focusing on nothingness, which is really hard. But that mantra helps me a lot to just focus on something that doesn't really have like a meaning, if that makes sense. And the meaning that it does have, I actually really identify with. And then I think that in terms of like emotional release, I think meditation, of course, is amazing. But I think if you're not proactively letting go of emotion that's there, it needs to go hand in hand, if that makes sense. And I read about this concept once of, some people have trauma from childhood, right? Or from whatever. And they might just need to like acknowledge that and let it go every day. So there's this concept of like just journaling it out, just like putting it on piece of paper and being done with it for the day, and being like, I've dealt with that, and I'm going to put it over there, and I can move on with the rest of my day. And I feel like that's really, really invaluable, because I think it's harder than we think to just be like, oh, I'm just going to like have a therapy session or like journal this out and just be over this problem. Like if someone wronged you, or if someone hurt you, or if you have trauma from your childhood, or if you are going through divorce, or whatever it is, it's hard to just like release it and be done with it, right? Like it's not always going to just be done. And it might, like I've had things that I had thought I dealt with in the past, and then it'll come up again. And I'll be like, where did that come from? It's like, I thought I dealt with that. And so this one blogger I should have looked this up beforehand because I could not remember what it is, but there's a whole book on it. But basically the concept is just like, take a page, write it down. And if that's what you need to do to get it out every day, just do it every day. And then you're done with it for the day. And then the next day it might come back up, but you can just get it out and be done with it for the day and move on with your life, And these are the types of things that will allow us to move on, heal, and actually like not have a sugar addiction, or a chip eating addiction, or a cheese eating addiction, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Not yell at I don't have kids, but not yell at our kids, not yell at our husbands, not get frustrated.
Yeah.
Right. So.
I had a really cool experience the other day. I went to see my old childhood horse, and the new owner is amazing life coach lady, manifest anything you want in your life that you want type lady, who was just so passionate about that message. And she was just like, your vibe, like how you're doing internally is what you're going to be wanting to eat as well. And so if you are taking care of yourself and you have that hope and you have that power of I can manifest, I can whatever, then you're going to want to put food in your body that's healthy and high vibration. That's what she called it, high energy.
Yeah.
And I even thought about that. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Like when I'm feeling good, I want good stuff. When I feel like crap, give me a hamburger, give me ice cream, give me donuts. And so your emotional well-being, you guys, is so critical to your success. I would go as far as to say, I think that's what sugar addiction is the bottom line of it, is how you are dealing or not dealing with your emotions.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just a buffer, because I've worked with clients when they don't have the sugar anymore, then they're like, oh my gosh, this is way too painful. How can I deal with my emotions? And then so they go back because that's the only thing they know. And so if that's happening to you guys, it's really important to find a method, and we can even talk one-on-one about it, me and Rennie, and help you find that, because I struggled for a while too. I'm very open about this, how Josh and I have struggled so much in our marriage. We've hit such low, depressing, gloomy, horrible, horrible lows. And then I had to figure out how to deal with that. And so I used Brene Brown's The worksheet. I swear by that.
It's not Brene Brown. It's someone else.
Oh, thanks. It's Byron Katie. Thank you.
Yeah. No, it's cool.
Byron. Yeah, so Byron Katie, Katie. Just type in the worksheet. And I even redid that a few days ago, like last week, because we had an argument or whatever, and then that icky feeling was coming back. It's like, I know what this is, and it is not staying in my life. It's not okay. I hate that. And so I started filling it out. And sure enough, I felt so much better, because it helps me really understand what I'm dealing with and take a bigger look. So you guys, just plead with you. Learn to face those emotions. It might take therapy. It might take trying different things. Sometimes it's hard to be consistent enough for something to work, because maybe you don't want it quite yet, or maybe you haven't hit low enough low. I've seen that with me when I haven't been consistent on something that I'm like, yeah, I really want to get better. Finally, it takes something to, I'm like, I've had it. I'm going to do this. And I do it consistent enough to see results and to see change. So, and this is the book, Carol Whitaker, Ridiculously Happy. Awesome book. It's called The Secret to Manifesting the Life and Body of Your Dreams. There's a lady that owns my horse now. And she is ridiculously happy. Like, she just radiates. She loves what she teaches. She goes into the grocery store and people look at her like, who is this lady? She's very.
What a lucky horse to have a new mama like that.
Yeah, they're soulmates, she says.
Oh, that's cute. I wanted to maybe bring up one more question, and you can give feedback on this too, Kurtly. So with one of my client calls, I think it was last week, she said something that I thought was really interesting. She said, we were just talking about the program in general and the titles, and she thought that maybe the one-on-one coaching was good, but it might be better to do like a buddy system within the program. Because, and this I wanted to like address as well, because she's like, from my perspective, Rennie, you've already made it. You're already perfect at this, which I don't think she used the word perfect, but I can't remember exactly how she phrased it. And first of all, like, thank you for thinking that, but it's not that it's always something that I'm working on, which is why I developed the program, and why, I mean, yes, maybe I have a lot of knowledge about it, and I know a lot of, I know the effect sugar has on my body. I know the effect meditation has on my body. I know the importance of taking these steps, but it doesn't mean that I'm perfect at it at all. And so I was curious what people, when you watch this, I'd love if you like comment in Facebook, and Kurtly, your thoughts on, do you think people would benefit more from having a buddy to be accountable to within the Sugar Leash program itself?
I think so. I thought that too.
That might be something we implement in the future. So,
Yeah.
yeah, other than that, stay in touch with us for the next 2 weeks, and we'll reach out to you guys as well. Officially, the program ends on the 28th, which is right through Christmas, and we know that people are going to be crazy busy. So we understand that you're busy, but if there's anything that we can do for you between now and then, let us know.
Yeah. And I want to just kind of add a closer.
Mm-hmm.
If we are almost at the end of 3 months, if you're not like, I'm not perfectly sugar, I'm still having problems, just want you to know kind of what Rennie said is that is normal. I still have problems with sugar. Rennie still has problems with sugar, but we've also come to a place where it's not a control thing. And so we don't feel trapped by it. And I want you to know that you can do that too. Do not give up. It did not take me 3 months to get where I am. Okay? It did not. It took me about 1.5 years, 2 years. Okay? And it's different for everyone. Some people, it can happen in a snap of a moment. Some people, it's going to take different. Just remember, give yourself some grace and patience and compassion and just keep going because your journey is going to be unique. Remember the principle. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was just curious, do you think, Curtly, if you had all this information concentrated in one spot, like the Sugar Leash is, that it would have taken less time for you? Or do you think the patterns, it just took that long to create new patterns in your brain?
I think that if I would have had these tools and actually used them all consistently, I would have done it in 3 months. Yeah. Because it's the using the tools and using your support. The Stop Challenge Choose PDF that we gave you guys, how many of you have actually printed it out? How many of you actually memorized it? Those questions were everything for me. And it was a little bit of me trying for what worked for me, to actually take those principles in hand. And so I just want to remind you guys, the basic principles of the program, carry those with you. Carry the principle of mindfulness. That'll change everything for you. Actually meditate. If you're not meditating, no wonder. Don't be hard on yourself that you can never do it. Just ask yourself, are you doing what it takes to progress? And if you're not, that's okay. We have different seasons in their life. The other one is, okay, how is your environment for reals? When I have sugar in my environment, I'm going to eat it. I just know that still to this day.
In the same way.
Yeah.
In the same way.
Yeah. So Rennie and I are same thing. Okay. And then also, how's my water? The biggest thing, you guys, if you're not actually drinking a ton of water every day, 80 to 100 ounces, you're going to have cravings. It's not your fault. You're not weak. You're not out of control. That's what happens to us is when we're hungry and thirsty, we're going to go for the sugar. So no wonder.
It's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm. It's just the way it is. And so use that to your advantage. And the other thing is, are you eating every 2 to 3 hours, or are you eating at whatever time that works best for you so that you don't get so hungry that the cravings come? Sometimes I skip breakfast and I'm fine. That's what my body just wants, and I listen. Rennie's the same way, very intuitive. Just barely, I realized I hadn't had anything for a while. And you guys, I pulled out this. This is my dark chocolate dream bar. It's 200 calories. It's from the Optavia program that Rennie and I coach with. I survive off of those bars. And guess what? It's got sugar in it, but it's also balanced with protein and carbs, so it stabilizes my blood sugar. I feel amazing.
4 grams.
What was that?
It's like 4 grams of sugar.
Yeah, and it's got fiber, 4 grams of fiber, which is amazing.
Yeah, and when you're on that program completely, like you're not in weight loss mode, obviously you're in maintenance, but when people are on that program for weight loss, they're under 25 grams of sugar a day, just because of the way they're structured. So that's exactly what we teach.
Yeah. Yep. And so that's what I keep. There's a box so that when I'm like, I could run downstairs, but if I'm in a hurry, I'd rather grab something fast and easy. And that's why I have to be realistic about myself. Whole Foods is my favorite option. Same with Rennie. But there is a point in our lives when we're busy that having something that's a healthy choice, it's going to stabilize our blood sugar. It's much better for the long run. And so if you, after 3 months, you see that you cannot provide meals for yourself every 2 or 3 hours, then maybe it's time to say, okay, Maybe I'll have some help, and maybe I'll have some bars or shakes or whatever that are balanced for me. And then you will see it's so much easier to eat well. So those are the main things, you guys, is love yourself. Don't forget the mirror talk. Really being able to look at yourself and say, man, you're awesome. Man, I love you. Man, you look good. That's a huge deal. And we want that for you. We want the freedom for you. We want to just give you hope and courage to keep on going and to reach out as you need. We can still discuss things as you need. Okay. But don't forget, use that pamphlet. If you haven't printed out the workbook, go through it again, or print it out and go through it. If you haven't actually printed out the book, read through it again, and then see what principles, am I doing this? Yes or no? If it's no, then have a whole week where you're focused just on that. And if you succeed, then make that into the next 3 weeks so you can make it into a habit. So.
Love it. All right. Last thing, I will be emailing one more email with some questions for you guys just to answer. We'd love your feedback on how you like the program, what we can improve on, all that good stuff. And I think from there, just happy holidays, and we love you guys so much.
Yes, thanks for being here with us, you guys. It's been awesome. See you later.
See ya.